Emilio.
Emilio. Like Emilio Estevez?
Ah, sí, muy guapo. Yeah, absolutely. Emilio had a dream, a sueño in Spanish is what you call a dream, to build a golf course here in Merida.
Merida. Right.
See, that's my English coming.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Doing it great.
And today his dream has become a reality. Jack Nicklaus is behind us. He's built this beautiful golf course. You've designed a resort that is going to be, people can live here, they can play here. You tell us about your property.
Well, what we have in mind here is not a resort. It's not only a resort, it's a residential project. And what we have here is, as you say, the highlight of the project is the course, the Jack Nicklaus Signature Course. But also we have the clubhouse, we have the Mark Spitz Academy, and we have 9 tennis courts, a paddle, we have the Gymboree, the whole building for the kids. We have a lot of amenities in the clubhouse. So this is not only a club, country club, we call it the Yucatan Village and Resort, because it's going to be a village and resort. We're going to have like a little town, we're going to have area for condos, we're going to have villas for the adult living, and eventually this is going to be like a 15,000 people living in it.
It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. The Jaguar golf course, trust me, is going to test you. It's not one of those country club golf courses that just, hit the ball, putt it in. Jaguar's going to take a bite out of it
right.
a little bit. It's going to be a great community. The La Playa, the beach is just down the road. You can go fishing, get a boat. Amelia loves to fish. He loves to golf. He'll come out with you anytime.
Anytime.
Absolutely. We're inside now with Ted. Ted, tell us about the Jack Nicklaus Academies.
Nicklaus Academies, we've developed these around the world, and it's anywhere from 5-star resorts to private country clubs to urban golf centers where we can teach a lot of golfers how to play this great game. A lot of it is based on Jack's philosophy, how Jack learned how to play the game of golf, how Jack approaches the game, but then we modernized it so that it keeps up with the technologies, with the level of fitness, with all the components that we have around us. So we have a complete curriculum. We address everything from mental evaluations, physical evaluations, equipment evaluations. It's important that we know what's in front of us before we start to diagnose the student. So we'll see what kind of learner you are, how your ability to focus, past injuries, if you have some flexibility issues, some strength issues. Based on this information, now we know before we even start working with you, we're going to see that your arm comes up a little bit. We'll see that your hamstrings are tight. Therefore, you're going to pull out of your shot. So we can address that. It's not necessarily a swing flaw, it's a physical flaw. We can provide stretching programs, fitness programs, if you want to go that direction, or we'll work with the swing you got. Our process is to take your swing and get the best result possible. We're not going to create the perfect swing. There is no perfect swing. Mm-hmm. I can't swing like Mr. Nicklaus. You can't swing like Mr. Mickelson.
I can't swing like Mrs. Mickelson, let alone Mr. Mickelson.
You're right. She's got a pretty good swing. But the point is, we're after results. The only thing that we know, the club face and the golf. That's it. The golf ball doesn't know what your position is. It doesn't know how expensive your golf club is. It doesn't know what your feet are doing. It's all about the club face and the golf ball. If we can just focus on that, focus on impact, get that the best we can, the rest of it will come along.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, it's not just about coming into and getting a lesson. It's about really the academies are about getting involved in the game. You can see right now we're at the Yucatan Country Club. The kids are behind us right now. Mr. Nicklaus just left. You're trying to build little golfers too, yeah?
Oh yeah, we got little 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds out here that have just got dynamite swings. This is the future of the game, and we've got to grow the game. It's got to be grown at the grassroots level with kids. And what you find with these kids, here and around the world, is there's such enthusiasm for the game of golf. I mean, this is fun. When I grew up, I was a baseball player. I did this. Golf wasn't part of what I did. I got into it later. These kids are starting with that enthusiasm that is going to create world champions.
Ted, you've got academies all over the place now.
Yeah, we do. We're in 6 countries now. China, Japan, Korea, Denmark, Spain, Mexico, the U.S. We're going into Chile, Argentina, Brazil, Costa Rica, Russia, India, and British Columbia, the islands. We've got some pretty good growth plans going.
Wow. And let's say a bunch of my old Army buddies, we're a bunch of hackers, want to go on a vacation someplace and not only have a good time, play some rounds, but come to the Jack Nicklaus Academies and get a lesson. Is there a website folks can find you? Or?
Easiest way is to go to our corporate website, which is www.nicholasacademies.com. And from there, you can request information, and I'll send it to you and tell you where we have locations that will fit your profile. Each location is very unique, as you'll see in Las Vegas versus what we have here. All beautiful facilities, all completely outfitted, but each one has their own personality. Each one does their own instruction programs based on the same philosophy. So we can give you a lesson here today at the Yucatan, and in 2 weeks in Las Vegas, you're going to get the same philosophy. We're not going to reinvent the wheel. We're just going to keep building on the Jack Nicklaus curriculum.
Cool. Hey, if you're like me, you're hacking around the golf course and you're calling it golf all the time. If you're like him, you learn to play the sweet spot on your club, because you learn that it's an art and it's a science to hitting a golf ball. That's why you at home right now want to come to a Jack Nicklaus Academy. Right, Mike?
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
I spent a tremendous amount of time in my life trying to teach the average person the basics or the developmental part of golf. I mean, there's so much information out there now, and it's not that the information is incorrect, it's just that it's not applied to the right person at the right time. So it's like if you can't add 2 + 2 and get 4, an algebraic equation, even though it's correct, won't make any sense to you. Well, the tour players' golf swings, in a sense, are that equation. It's not that what they say is wrong, but it applies to them. And they're at a whole different level as far as their developmental skills. So when you take the average person and you see thousands of them, you learn where they are and what best fits them and what they need to learn to be able to do what their potential is. So I've spent my whole life myself playing, working on my own game, and then working with thousands and thousands of people and showing them how to work themselves through this fog bank of information that's out there.
Now look, you've seen the pro, your local pro, and you should always support your local pro. Mike knows what he's talking about. His pedigree is, well, one of the best in the whole face of the planet. Golf Digest ranks you in the top 50, yeah?
Yes.
Instructors. Another little magazine, Golfing Magazine, has you in the top 100.
Correct.
Yeah, so this man knows what he's talking about. And certainly for Mr. Nicklaus to lend his name and belief in Mike, it's the bear, man, it's Jack. Trust in Mike to pass on, well, golf his way, the Jack Nicklaus way. Let's talk about some of the fundamentals that so many people forget about. What do they forget about when they're out there?
Well, I don't think they forget. I just don't think they've been made aware of. There's some real simple things, a couple in particular, that if people don't understand, the whole global picture of a golf swing assumes they can do those couple of things. And for me, being able to go all around the world and watch all different levels and all different types of people, you start to see what skills they actually need to develop. And one of the most important skills that people don't have is the ability to control the club face. Mm-hmm. And it's like if you were going to ice skate, you have to learn how to control the blades. You got to stand on the skates. If you're going to ski, you have to learn the edges. If you're going to play tennis, you have to learn how to put the racket on the ball. Well, golf, you have to be able to learn how to control the face and the path that it swings on before you do all the global things. And so if we can teach people what that is and how to do it, all of a sudden the game starts to be not quite so difficult. It's still hard and it still takes practice. That's part of the allure of it. That's the fun of it. But you can shortcut the learning curve dramatically and the frustration level dramatically.
See, I thought it was all about the pants I was wearing, the golf shirt I was wearing, what kind of cigar I was smoking out on the course. It actually has to do with this little thing called a hosel and a head and a hoodle and a hitty. So why don't we do something, okay? Let's go on out. Mike's going to show us one little basic that you sitting right there in Idaho or wherever you're watching the show right now, needs to know.
All right, Randy, one of the most important things in a golf swing, you see tour players all the time and they're standing there and they're doing this as they're warming up or on the range. Well, this little fundamental, how this left arm rotates, that's what controls the club face. So this left arm is more of a rotator than it is a puller. And people see pictures where they see this, it looks like they're pulling, but the reality is their left arm is actually rotating. So you have to learn to be able to rotate your left forearm and control the face. So when I hit a golf ball, that left forearm just rotates. Now if I take that little motion and I put my right hand on that same motion keeps going regardless of the length of the swing. This controls the face. This arm is more of a rotator than it is a puller. And that's one of the biggest misconceptions in golf, is that the pictures make you think that this pulls. The reality is it rotates and releases the club head to the ball. That's what the game's about, put the club head on the ball. One thing we've done with developing the Nicklaus Academies is go back through, how did Jack learn to play? What did I go through learning the game? And go back through the learning process so that the information fits the person regardless of whether they're in America, in Mexico, in Spain, in Korea, in Japan, which all those places we have academies. So it's the consistency of being able to tell the person, here's what you need to learn, these are the skills, and build their game on those skills. If you do that, you're going to have a lot of fun with the game, you're going to achieve your potential.
All right, so not only is Big Mike going to take you out on the range and show you how to turn the wrist, but you got other things inside too as well, yeah?
Well, the whole part of learning golf is about different technologies that help different learning styles. A lot of the people that are watching today are more visual, they'll pick up on that. Some kinesthetic, they like to do the actual positions and see themselves on a video. So a lot of teaching is about first finding out where you are in the learning curve, looking at you physically and determining what you can and can't do so you fit the things you need to do into what you actually can do. And then it's having access to all of the technologies possible to give you the best information that fits your learning style and helps you shortcut the learning curve. So that's what all of the technology that we've developed is about. It's about helping you and the people out there, the students, to have access to whatever they need to help them have the most fun with the game and get as good as they can in as short a period of time as they can. That's what it's about.
Wow, is that what it's really about? I thought it was about years of hacking around on the course in total frustration, reading a magazine and trying to figure it out on my own. You mean I could come to one of your academies and bingo bongo, I'm playing as good as you? That's a big stretch.
Wow, that's a stretch.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say that. You know what? The reality is that wouldn't be fair to the game, because the reality is anybody who's really good has earned the right to be there. And so that's part of the allure of golf, is that you have to spend the time with it. What we can do is help to shortcut the learning curve so you don't spend hours and hours out here working on things that aren't that effective for where you're at. So it's about helping you get through the learning curve and get to your potential as quick as you can. But the process is part of the fun of playing golf. The hacking that you said, you have to actually like to do that a little bit. That's part of the process. If you don't like the failures, don't take up the game.
Yeah. But the fun part, and if you're watching the show, you love golf, you love hot golf, it is when you strike a 6-iron on a sweet spot and it does exactly what you envisioned it do, what you want it to do, and it dances on that green. So come to a Nicklaus Academy and Mike's going to help you with that.
That's right. And actually, if you do that and you hit that one, the next time you'll actually have an idea as to how it happened, and it won't be just pure luck, so you can actually duplicate it, which would be an interesting concept.
Yes, it would in my case.